Hey guys, welcome back to Mind State, where we help you reach your full potential. In today's video, we will be discussing 8 ways to tell if you're being gaslit and what you should do. Have you ever been in a relationship where your partner would say something insulting, then deny having said it? Or maybe they'd accuse you of doing something that they had actually done themselves. If this happened to you once or twice, it might not seem like a big deal. But if it happens week after week, month after month, well then, it can start to feel pretty crazy. Gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse that involves manipulating someone by making them doubt their own sanity. It's often used to take away power from someone and make them feel weak and confused. The abuser does this by using a combination of lies, false memories, denial, minimization, misdirection, and other techniques that distort the truth. If this sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not going crazy. You're just being gaslighted. To avoid being driven crazy by gaslighting, it's important to have evidence that shows what the abuser is doing and how they're doing it. This can include things like text messages or emails from them, where they admit to lying or making up false memories. Photos of yourself with physical bruises or other marks from an incident. Records of conversations with people who observed the abuse. Voice recordings of incidents where the abuser shouted at you, etc. Any type of proof helps. Another way to keep yourself sane when dealing with gaslighting behavior is to confide in someone else who will listen without judging you or defending your abuser. Someone like a trusted friend or family member who can help restore your sanity when it's been shattered by lies and manipulation. In this video, we will explain further how to deal with gaslighting behaviors. Number 1. Keep a journal and you will always have something to look back on. If you're being gaslit, it's important to keep a journal. If you're in a relationship with someone who treats you like garbage, it's important to keep track of what they say and do. And not just because it'll make for some great blackmail material later. Keeping a journal is the best way to do this. It will help you remember the things they've done that are so ridiculous and awful, so when you're feeling angry or hurt by them, you can take a step back and realize how ridiculous their behavior actually is. This will also keep you from reacting to their words or actions in the moment, which will only make things worse. Your journal is your safe space. It's the place where you can be free from judgment and say anything you want, without anyone else's input or criticism. It's where you can let out all of your feelings about the abuse and write about how you're feeling. But what happens if your abuser finds it? What happens if they see the things that you've been writing about them? You should always keep your journal in a safe place where your abuser will never find it, like under the mattress or in a secret compartment behind your dresser, so that they can't use it against you later on. Number 2. Record voice memos. When it comes to gaslighting, a person can quickly record what just happened somewhere private for future reference. It's important to remember that the person you're dealing with is not your friend, nor are they your parent or partner. They are an abuser who wants to control you, and so it's important that you stay on top of the conversation by making sure that you don't lose track of what happened as it happens. When you're in a conversation and something doesn't feel right, take a moment before responding. Ask yourself, what did this person just say? Then, why does this feel weird? Finally, what do I want to say about it? If you can't think of anything specific enough on your own, try asking the other person, what was your point? This will help them clarify what they meant and give them an opportunity to correct themselves if they realize they've made a mistake. You might also choose to ask them questions like, how do you know that? Or why do you think that's true? Number 3. Take photos. You know what's better than a camera? 2 cameras. If you're in an abusive relationship, it's important to document any injuries or damage that has happened to you. But if the person who hurt you also has access to your phone, they might delete the evidence before police get involved. So if you can use your phone safely, snap away. If not, or if it would be safer for you to use a disposable camera, there's no need to worry. Just grab one of these guys and start snapping. Number 4. Keep it in the email. Keep your evidence of abuse in the cloud. not on your device. If you've been abused by someone, it's important that you save any evidence of that abuse for future use. But what if you're worried about your abuser coming into your home or seizing your devices? You need a safe way to keep that evidence somewhere else. We've got just the answer. Email it to a trusted friend or family member. This way, they can keep it off their device out of sight, but still accessible if they need to be able to send it right back to you in case of emergency. Are you liking the video so far? Before we get back, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell to get notified of our new uploads. Now let's get right back to it. Number 5. Join a support group. Maybe you've heard of gaslighting. Maybe you haven't. It's a form of emotional abuse that can have serious consequences for your mental health. And it's not just something that happens to other people. If you're feeling confused or unsure about how to proceed after experiencing gaslighting, there are ways to find help. Talking to people who have gone through the same thing can help you feel less isolated. And some groups meet in person so that people don't have to feel alone. There are also online support groups available if that's more convenient for you. Sometimes it can be hard to get help because we're afraid of what other people will think or say about us if they find about our experiences with gaslighting. But the truth is that most people don't even know what it means. That's why it's important for us all to share our experiences so that we can support each other and help end this cycle of abuse once and for all. Number 6. Seek therapy. It's not easy to deal with the pain of abuse. It can be hard to know where to turn, who to trust, and how to help yourself. But there are ways you can start on the path toward healing. The first step is recognizing that you have a problem, that your partner is abusive, and that it's not your fault. And then you need to get help. Here's what I want you to know. There are people out there who want you to get better. There are people out there who care about you and want to help you heal. There are people out there who will listen when you need them the most. If possible, it may help to speak to a therapist with training in the type of abuse that a person is experiencing. A therapist can provide someone with a safe space to talk honestly about how they feel. And they can help them sort through their emotions and make sense of what happened. Number 7. Practice in trusting your instincts. When you're feeling out of control, it's easy to start doubting yourself. But the best way to get back your sense of self is to start trusting yourself. What does that mean? It means listening to your instincts and judgments again. Once you know that you can trust yourself, there will be no one stopping you. This is something we all do instinctively at some point or another. When we're faced with a problem, we have a gut reaction about what we think should happen next. But somewhere along the line, we decide that our instincts aren't worth listening to anymore. We start doubting ourselves and thinking our ideas are dumb or impossible, instead of believing in them and working toward them. You might be thinking, how do I know if I can trust myself? Well, first of all, never doubt yourself. If there's something about a decision or situation that feels uncomfortable or uncertain, then go with it. Trust yourself when you feel like something's off. It's usually right. And if something feels good and makes sense to you, that's also usually right too. So when in doubt, go with it. Number 8. Resist with all your power the urge to argue. It's not just that you're crazy, it's that you're being made to feel like you're crazy. And that's what makes gaslighting so insidious. If a loved one has been gaslighting you, they may have actually convinced you that there are things wrong with you. And even if they haven't yet, they might still be working on it. The problem is, when someone starts to feel like they don't know who they are anymore, it can be tempting to try to prove that they are normal or not crazy by using evidence of their behavior against them. But this doesn't really help. It just makes the abuser more aggressive and less likely to change their behavior. So what should you do instead? You could keep collecting evidence, but don't let anyone see it or use it until you've figured out how to protect yourself from retaliation. Hi everyone, thanks so much for watching Mind State. If you found this video helpful and enjoyed watching our content, please click like and subscribe. We'll always provide excellent takes on anything and everything. And also, we'd love to know about your thoughts, so leave a comment below. See you next time!